Yeah.
Let's go. Whoa!
Whoa.
Whoa! What up, bud?
What's up, buddy?
How we doing?
We're back straight from Philadelphia.
How we doing?
We're teleport right here.
Awesome.
Oh, he has something. Oh, he has his towel. Whoa,
Herbert!
Herbert!
Yeah! We got the win.
Bing bong.
Let's go.
And the KBT's got the win. Yeah!
What's up, everyone?
After a drought.
How we doing? Welcome back to the Picks Podcast.
We doing?
I'm your host, Matt. This is your other host, Kyle.
Hi.
We're going to talk some football today.
Mhm.
Specifically,
Mhm.
wild card football, because the NFL playoffs are here. And I couldn't be more excited.
I love the NFL playoffs.
I couldn't be more excited. This is what the whole year was about, guys. This is what the whole year was about, getting here. I still can't believe it's already playoffs. It feels like we just started the season. I mean, that's how it always feels at the end of the day. But I'm excited. We're going to talk some football. 4-2 was the record this week. So
Not that bad.
all right. So look, I picked the Bucks. I'm not going to beat myself up over it because
Aaron and I told you last week. We told you.
that's fine. But if you remember last week, what did I say?
You said it was the last team with the ball.
The last team who had the ball would win, and I was right. So I'm not going to beat
That's
myself.
typically how it goes. 'cause
I'm
usually,
not gonna
like,
beat
the winning
myself
team
up
Kneels the ball.
Fair,
So
you
that's
know what I
kind of a
meant.
moot point. Yeah, I know
You
you
know what I
meant.
meant.
I'm just being a little bit.
So I'm not mad about picking the Bucks. It's fine. It is what it is. I am mad about not picking the Texans because everyone I talked to about picking the Texans, they said I'm stupid. They said I'm wrong. The Chargers are gonna roll. I got scared into doing it. Not happy about it. So
See, you should have listened to.
me,
You should have listened to us for the Commanders, but you should have not listened to us about the Chargers.
I should have listened
and
to
you could have
me.
went 6-0.
It's fine, but I should have listened to me about the Texans. I'm mad about that one. Wanted 5-1, got 4-2. It is what it is. KBT's hit though.
KBT's hit up for 5. First hit since Thanksgiving.
We're back.
We're back.
So
We're so back.
it's really fun to get into the win column, especially because I had a pretty good week betting. So,
Yeah, so did I.
not just the KBTs. I had some other stuff which we'll maybe get into. We'll see. I'm gonna start off with some general news. Wasn't too much this week.
Picks
We're
news.
gonna focus on the games and the divisional round and the next KBTs and all that
I
good
think
stuff.
more news should be the week before between the Super Bowl and the.
Yeah, I mean, if there's a
Maybe.
decent amount of news, I mean, we'll figure out what to do
Ah,
for that show.
yeah.
As it
But
comes.
anyway, what's the news? Man?
So we got some coaching news to talk about.
Ooh.
On Sunday, the New England Patriots hired Mike Vrabel as their next head coach. Vrabel was a former NFL linebacker who played for the Patriots between 2001 and 2008, where he won 3 Super Bowls
Wow.
and was a first-team AP All-Pro in 2007. He's a member of the New England Patriots Hall of Fame. Makes sense to me, right?
Yeah,
I
he
mean,
was
I
also
think-
good with the Titans.
I think it's a good. I mean, yeah, he got to the AFC Championship that one year
Mhm.
when he knocked off Lamar when they went was it 15-1 or something?
Yeah, I love that game.
They knocked them off. They fell to the Patriots that year, unfortunately.
Mhm.
But I think it makes sense. Former Patriot, knows the organization well. I'm sure
Yeah.
he knows a lot of the guys. Obviously, Robert Kraft, he knows really well. So I think it's a good hire. I mean, I still feel bad for Gerard Mayo after, the hand-picked successor to Belichick getting
Yeah,
sacked
he wasn't that good.
after 1 year. So, I do feel a little bit bad for Mayo, but I think this is a good hire for the Patriots.
I think speaking to Pats fans, shout out to my boy Ben, they feel that they're kind of annoyed the fact that like Mayo is the successor and they're hiring Vrabel, who they kind of probably wanted to hire anyway. Like they should have just hired him the first go around.
Mm-hmm.
And then but they're also excited because like he was really good with Tennessee, and the whole Tennessee fallout was more so because he was like pissed at the GM, and that was the GM that traded away AJ Brown, which is a very dumb move. I am eternally grateful for the GM.
Yeah,
I love the GM.
they sacked the GM too.
Yeah,
in
the
Tennessee.
following year.
No, I thought it was this year.
Oh, this year, but
Yeah.
they.
I forget his name. I know his name. If someone said
Yeah,
his name,
but
I'd
he's
know it,
finally
but-
gone, and so Vrabel, I think, is a very good coach.
Yeah, I think it'll work
He's
out.
a good rah-rah guy.
I think it'll work
But they
out
need
really well.
some talent though. They need to hit on the draft
Yeah,
free agency.
I mean, they definitely need some weapons. They need to revamp the O-line. They got to revamp the D-line. They didn't have
They need
Judon this year,
weapons,
so
yeah.
they got a lot of work ahead of them. But I think it's a step in the right direction for New England. On Monday,
Mhm.
the next day, the Dallas Cowboys announced that they would not be bringing back head coach Mike McCarthy, and will instead look for a new head coach.
Wow.
So McCarthy was the Cowboys head coach between 2020 and 2024. He compiled a 49-34 record with the boys, 8th best in that time frame. Which
wow.
I mean, they had 3 straight 12-4
yeah.
seasons.
Yeah, but what did they do in the playoffs?
Well, you'll like this thing. Under McCarthy, the Cowboys became the first team since the AFL-NFL merger in 1970 to win at least 12 games 3 years in a row and not make a conference championship
That's
game.
just sad.
I mean, it's a good move for Dallas, in my opinion. If I'm being objective, it's a good move. Obviously, as an Eagles fan, I would have loved to see the Cowboys repeat their mistakes and just be mediocre for the rest of eternity. But I actually think this is a good move for the Cowboys. I think it makes sense. McCarthy clearly wasn't the guy. You could just watch the games and tell. Like, he would throw in these random ass like reverse plays or like flea flickers that like didn't fit the scheme at all. He just kind of did them.
Zeke at center.
You know, so yeah, like Zeke at center, like bro, like the only bad thing is for Dallas is they're a week behind everyone else.
Well, yeah, the whole thing was like if they got rid of McCarthy earlier, then they would have been able to like interview Ben Johnson and Glenn and anybody
Kellen Moore, yeah.
So but like now they're behind.
So now they got to wait.
Dallas.
I've heard a number of names. I've heard Deion Sanders, bro.
I've heard Jason Witten. I've heard Jason Witten, Deion Sanders.
Those are two wild takes. I have no idea who they're gonna go with.
All I know is as long as Jerry's alive, I will be grateful because Dallas is not doing anything.
Keep doing what you're doing, Jerry.
I love you, Jerry.
I think it is a good move for the Cowboys ultimately, though. They definitely needed a change in, leadership, and especially if they're gonna keep the core of, Dak and C.
Well, the leadership is gotta be Jerry.
Yeah, well, obviously Jerry's
never gonna change.
He's the dictator. He's the dictator, so I get it, but I think it's a good move for Dallas.
Did you hear the rumor? The reason why they announced it on Monday night is because like Jerry likes to announce things for the Cowboys, like while
of course
NFL's going on. So then, like, they're talked about.
Of course he does.
Of everybody.
Of course he does.
And that's why they were behind. Like, they knew they weren't gonna hire him, but they like wanted to announce it on Monday, so like Dex could talk about it during the game.
That makes total sense. Makes total sense to me.
Just cares. It's a business.
He's an attention whore. I mean, simple as that.
The Dallas Cowboys are a business. They're not a football team.
They are a business. All right, one more bit of news here before we get into the games. After undergoing surgery this past Thursday to repair a second torn ACL, the 2025 season is now in jeopardy for Browns quarterback Deshaun Watson, per Adam Schefter.
Next story.
And league sources. Yeah, normally I wouldn't root for a guy to be hurt, but hey, if we can keep him out of the league a little longer, I don't think anyone would.
I don't think he can ever come back. He's done.
I don't think.
Dunzo. Bye bye. Bye bye.
I don't think anyone would be upset if he was to stay out of the
league
for a little longer.
Let's get to the games. Who cares about that bozo?
Yeah. All right. Let's get into the games here. I guess we'll just go in chronological order.
Obviously, we'll go.
Starting on Saturday.
At the Houston Texans standard wild card time slot. 4:30.
Yeah, literally 4:30 Saturday. You can bet the Texans are going to be there.
And they're going to be in there
and they're going to win, dude.
Coming up.
32-12.
What a game.
First of all, that's scoregami. Which is awesome. Playoff scoregami. We love it here.
We love scoregami.
Dude, the Texans, like, it was such a weird game because it was kind of playing out how I thought it would, like a low scoring, like first to 20 wins sort of situation. Like the Texans had an awful start. They went fumble, they had 3 and out. Their defense, was holding their own. And then Herbert just started fucking tossing ducks.
Well, you know what happens, man? It happens when your head coach gets picked up by the dirty bubble in the middle of the game. If I had known the dirty bubble was going to be there and he had some beef with Jim Harbaugh, I would have never touched the Chargers.
Dude.
As soon as dirty bubble took the head coach, that's not fair. Why is the dirty bubble able to mess with the Chargers coaching staff, but not the Texans? It's not fair.
For those of you who have no idea what Kyle's talking about, he's referring to the Nickelodeon broadcast.
It's not fair, man.
Where the game was on. They had the dirty bubble pick up.
You can't have the dirty bubble out of there.
It was the SpongeBob dirty bubble. Pick them up.
That's a failure on NFL security right there.
That's crazy, man.
I know they're doing the international series at the bottom, but like you can't have the dirty bubble in the stadium.
So Kamari Lassiter had the first pick. It was an okay decision from Herbert. Again, it's across his body.
No, that was a terrible decision.
Well, the guy was open. He
Dude,
was
but
open.
you can't.
I know.
He had a guy like that was way right in front that he could have hit. That was a terrible throw.
I didn't.
That
love
was
it.
the worst of the 3 picks.
I didn't love it. I thought it was very questionable.
Because the other 2, you could argue, the one he kind of overthrew McConkey.
Yeah.
Which that's not good. And then the other one, it hit the guy in the hands.
We'll give him a pass on the one.
That was the one. Also, he's
Thomas,
the first. Justin Herbert's the first quarterback to throw more picks in the playoffs than he did in the regular season.
That is wild.
3 picks in the regular season.
Wild.
4 in the playoffs.
Wild for a guy that started all 17 games.
That's absolutely bonkers.
Crazy.
That's a stat that probably will never be broken.
This game, however, was not without controversy. So I'll set the table for you. 6-0 Chargers.
Yeah. Dirty Bubble shows up.
No, I don't think this was in the Dirty Bubble yet. No, it was 6-0 Chargers. They pinned them at the 1-yard line.
Oh, yes.
And CJ Stroud arguably intentionally ground the ball in the end zone.
Yes.
And they said he was out of the pocket.
They say he was barely past the tackle line.
I thought it was a safety.
I thought it was initially a safety too, but there was one angle they showed, like their last angle they showed on the broadcast, where like it kind of looked like he was past the tackle line. So I was kind of like, I guess so.
I wasn't so sure.
But I wasn't so sure.
I mean, it's a judgment call, so it's fine. The thing.
But that 99-yard drive.
And then they go on a 99-yard drive.
That broken play where he fumbled it and he threw it to, was that Nico?
Yeah, Nico Collins. Yeah,
he threw it like.
Well, no, Nico Collins scored the touchdown.
No, it wasn't Nico that got the ball.
Hutchinson, I think.
Yeah, Hutchinson got the ball when he threw it across his body after fumbling it, and he was like, that was all out of position. It was similar to that fake fumble play that the Lions ran.
Yeah,
but like except it
was on purpose.
But like that drive kind of gave the Texans life.
Oh,
and that with Herbert's mistakes, kind of brought him back into the game.
Well, also the touchdown. So the touchdown was to Nico Collins.
Yes.
Why do you have the one guy you need to worry about on the field, who is Nico Collins, in single coverage with a rookie guarding him?
Yeah, it's kind of.
It was so wild to me because I'm watching the game and I'm like, that's a touchdown. I said it before it even happened, and he scored. He was wide open.
Yep.
I mean, a very questionable decision. And again, for the Chargers, they get the ball back before the half. Quentin Johnston, huge liability.
He had no catches.
Dude, 3rd and 10, 45 seconds left in the first half. Herbert throws a great ball back shoulder to Johnston. It's a tough throw. It's a tough catch. But he doesn't even make a play on the ball. They punt the ball back, and now the Texans get another field goal. So now it's 10-6 for the half. The Texans do turn the ball over in the third quarter. But their defense steps up right again. They stop the Chargers on 4th down with critical plays from, I think it was Azeez Al-Shaair and Derek Stingley made some stops.
Stingley just show why he's an all-pro.
Derek Stingley's really good.
He is really good.
But again, more questionable decisions from the Chargers, right? You have a 1st and 10. You're approaching at least field goal range, and you run it 3 times with Gus Edwards. So you don't even run it with your starter. You run it with your backup 3 times. And then it's 4th and 2, and you throw it short of the sticks.
Oh yeah, you can't be doing that.
What are you doing?
You can't be throwing a 4th down short of the sticks.
Yeah,
it's like what who did it? Oh, Kirk Cousins did in that playoff game against the Giants a few years ago.
Yeah, it's crazy.
You can't be doing that.
And then the refs had another blunder, in my opinion, where
I disagree with you,
dude. I don't believe this was not an interception. They called it Derek. What was it? Derwin James. Derwin James picked off CJ Stroud in the end zone, and they said he didn't. They went like they were looking at it, whatever. They went to commercial, and then we thought they were looking at something else. I forget what else they were looking at. They were looking at something, and then
they were looking at the play, obviously.
And then all of a sudden, they take away the interception. I'm like, what's going on here? And they said because he didn't survive the ground.
Well, it's because he didn't really have full possession of it, and you can see
it clearly had possession.
He wasn't on the ground.
He had possession of it.
I think that there was the one camera angle that kind of showed that it was like bobbling, and it bobbled and touched the ground.
I don't agree.
I personally didn't think that was enough to overturn it.
No,
based on the call it definitely wasn't. But I could see the argument that it was.
Here's the thing. In my opinion, he clearly had possession of the ball. Yes, the ball touches the ground, but like it shouldn't matter if you have possession of it already.
It's a lot like the pick for the Rams. They counted that.
Which
they had consistency. That against Arizona.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, where he was in the air, but they hit the ground, but they were like, that's a pick. They're obvious.
And
I'm actually agree with you.
They called that a
was
pick.
bullcrap. Because
that was like this.
They don't call this one.
That was like the same thing.
Get your act together, NFL.
That was like the same.
Get your act together.
And so the Texans get another 3 points out of it. So all this to say is, you could argue the Texans were spotted 10 points in this game.
Yeah.
Which completely, at that point, I mean, I know they won by 20, but at that point, that's huge because you don't have momentum going into the half. You don't have 10 points, obviously. So I don't know.
I think this is the Texas defense is what really won them the game, because I think if with how badly they started on offense,
really,
the Chargers went and scored 2 touchdowns instead of 2 field goals, that game would have went completely different.
No, I agree.
The Texas defensive line is incredible. Derek Stingley, incredible. Their defense is phenomenal, and I would be very worried if I was a Kansas City Chief.
Well, I mean, we'll get into that in a little bit. And then this game just completely fell off the rails.
It was a weird game.
You had the 86-yard touchdown to Ladd.
Yeah.
Then they blocked the PAT. Dicker, the ball goes 30 feet in the air, and Dicker
he thought that was just a special teams gap.
I don't know what he's doing.
He thought that, I guess, because I think if it goes past the line of scrimmage, then it's not a live.
Then it's not a live ball. Just catch it and go down.
It didn't go past the line of scrimmage because it was blocked, but he thought it did, so he slapped it down because that would have been dead ball.
It's crazy.
But the fact that he should have known. He should have known to catch it. That's a whiff on.
That was actually the first time a blocked PAT has been returned for 2 points in a playoff game.
Wow.
And that's why we had Scorigami too. So, thank you, Cameron Dicker. One more note on this game. Ladd McConkey's 197 receiving yards are the third most ever in a playoff debut and the most ever by a rookie, surpassing Puka Nakua's record from last season.
Wow.
He's going to be good.
He's really good.
They need more.
They need an X, because he's a good slot guy.
They need a tight end or something.
They need an X. They need T.
T Higgins. Yeah,
T Higgins.
That would be the
Patriots and the Chargers are gonna have the biggest bidding war ever for T Higgins.
That's gonna be an insane. Yeah, to see where he goes. I mean, but dude, Ladd and T. That's
pretty
good.
That's a good receiving core.
That's pretty good, man. That's pretty good.
Justin Herbert needs receivers. Also, all the people that say Justin Herbert's ass, just bad take. I will be buying all the Justin Herbert stock that you are selling. He is still a top 10 quarterback.
I don't know, dude. I've heard people saying he's approaching Dak territory.
No, he's not.
He's really
better
good,
than Dak,
but he can't get it done.
Oh my gosh, he had 2 chances and he had a terrible.
Telling you what I've heard, man.
This is fake news.
All right, let's move on here. Saturday night, the Baltimore Ravens 28, the Pittsburgh Steelers 14. This game kind of went exactly how I thought it would.
Yeah,
it's 21-0 at halftime in favor of the Ravens. And then by the time the Steelers sort of figured it out, it was too little, too late. So
yeah,
I mean, they had no answer for the Ravens rushing attack. It was, I mean, it looked like death by 1,000 cuts for the Ravens. Steelers punt the opening drive. Ravens go 95 yards the other way for a touchdown. But again, the play calling situations, and this is a big reason why I think the Steelers will at least think about moving on from Mike Tomlin.
They're not going to move on from Mike Tomlin.
But they're going to think about it.
No, they're not.
This game...
They already said they're not.
This game gave me some concerns. 3rd and 2 for the Steelers. They come out in an empty set. I'm looking at this. I'm like, all right, already they're setting themselves up for disaster. And it became 4th and inches, and they punted. Now, granted, the ball was on their side of the field. It was their own 29 or whatever. But I think at this point, they were already down... I don't know if they were down 7-0 or 14-0.
They were down 14-0, I believe.
I think they were down 14-0, but teams that can't run the ball effectively in the playoffs, they just don't stand a chance. Mm-hmm. You have Najee Harris. Run the ball, man. It's 3rd and 2. Even if you want to bring in Justin Fields or do a QB draw or something, run the football. Why are you going 4 or 5 wide on 3rd and 2? They've been able to stop you. It's crazy. Yeah, Henry had 100 yards in the first half at least. Lamar had 64. They really do look like a Super Bowl contender.
They looked really good.
They looked extremely good.
Beat down.
I got some stats for you. It was 21-0 at half, obviously. Ravens had 308 total yards in the first half. Steelers had 59. Wow. 19 first downs to 2.
Yep. That makes a lot of sense.
I mean, yeah, great. And then like I was saying, by the time the Steelers got it figured out, Russ the whole first half was jumpity in the pocket, didn't set his feet at all. Look what he was able to do, at least with his feet set.
Yeah,
they had a couple of nice touchdown drives. They finally got George Pickens involved. But I mean, that's to say though that they ended their season scoring 17 or fewer points in 5 straight games.
Yep.
Their offense just
And their
completely
defense
eviscerated.
too. Their defense let up all the yards.
Yeah.
I mean, the theory that I heard that I'm just thinking of is these Steelers collapses late in the season is not just the offense, like the defense, like all these like playoff losses. They're gonna get tired of carrying the team because the offense is so like anemic.
They don't do them any
Arthur
favors.
Smith, who's just like an old style run the ball play caller.
Yeah.
You can't win that way in the NFL anymore unless you have Saquon Barkley and you have AJ Brown.
I mean, they have a decent one too with Najee and
Najee's not even close to.
I said decent.
Decent, yeah.
I said decent. It's a decent one too.
Jalen Warren's better than.
It's
Najee.
okay. But I mean, I'm looking at their free agents this offseason, like Russell Wilson, Justin Fields, Najee Harris, Dante Jackson, Mike Williams, Van Jefferson, DeMonte KZ, Michael Pruitt, Cameron Sutton, Nate Herbig. There's gonna be a lot of changes in Pittsburgh this offseason.
They're probably still
a lot.
Spoiler alert, they still go like 9-8, 10-7, losing the first round of the playoffs.
7 seed inbound.
Honestly, what they need is like similar to like Andy Reid in Philadelphia. They need to like bottom out and like actually have a reason to get rid of Tomlin.
Yeah.
And I think Tomlin needs to change the scenery too. After Tomlin goes to like one of like the shitty franchises, like the Jets or whatever,
like Chicago or something.
Or Chicago, like he would make them way better.
I mean, the
like
players
he'd
love
get
him,
them.
There's
he would get them in a good position.
I mean,
think of what he does to these receivers. You see Deontay Johnson, he dealt with him. He dealt with AJ Brown. He made them all look phenomenal. And then as soon as they go to another team, they crash and burn.
Completely blow up.
Wait till George Pickens leaves the Steelers. Oh my.
Yeah. One more note on this game: Lamar Jackson became the NFL's all-time leader in postseason rushing yards by quarterback, passing Steve Young. He's good at running the football. Very good at running the football.
He's a running back.
He's a running back in disguise, actually.
Nah, he's a good guy. I like him.
Dude, I don't like. So I'm calling this the Ravens problem. How do you, as a team, or as a defensive coordinator, like plan from a game standpoint on what to do for Lamar and Derrick Henry?
Watch Vic Fangio's tape. Thanksgiving weekend.
Dude, I don't know what you do. It's crazy.
Go Birds.
What, you use zero blitz them the whole time?
Yeah, use Cooper DeJean to
they're gonna come out
every time.
Dude, that's crazy. I mean, it might just work though. I mean, they're kind of the same team.
Yeah.
When you think about it. So.
But they're really good.
I don't know. I think it's gonna.
They're exercising their demons. They look good against the Steelers. They used to be doo-doo against the Steelers.
Yeah, right.
Now they just have to beat Buffalo, who they've not beaten in the playoffs with Lamar, and then they got to beat the Chiefs, probably the Chiefs.
Yeah, probably the Chiefs.
Not beaten with Lamar.
Probably the Chiefs. So we'll see. We'll see. It'll be interesting. It's going to be a very interesting game between Buffalo and Baltimore.
For sure.
We'll get into that at the end of the stream here. But let's move on to Sunday.
Sunday fun day.
We'll start at the 1:00 hour. The Buffalo Bills beat the Denver Broncos by a score of 31-7. Yeah, tough for Denver. I mean,
they're just happy to be there.
They had a great little year, didn't they?
Yeah. And same with the Chargers. Like the Chargers, obviously, like they were favored, which kind of sucks. But like they were not. Nobody projected them to go to the playoffs. I mean, I think we did. I said they have a shot.
I didn't.
But
I didn't think they had a shot.
They're ahead. They were ahead of schedule. Denver's ahead of schedule. Denver hasn't been in the playoffs since the Peyton Manning won the Super Bowl in 2015. So good for them. I think they're looking up.
They're looking up, definitely. They have a bright future.
They had a really nice opening drive. That was a good
I mean, dude,
I
feel like they needed a touchdown on opening drive.
Yeah, they did.
And they got it. That was a statement that says, "We're here to play. We're not going to go out. We're not just happy to be here. We're here to win."
Well, yeah, but then like after that, they were like, "Dang, I guess we are just happy to be here."
Yeah, I know. It sucks.
It's close in the first half.
It was very.
It would have been. It potentially would have been 10-10 going into halftime.
Yeah, I was just about to look up
the field goal.
I was just about to look up what the score was. So the Bills or the Broncos ended up scoring on their opening drive. But Buffalo did a great job. Yeah, they doinked. Will Lutz doinked it at the end of the first half. But I think Buffalo really did a good job of controlling time of possession in the first and second quarters.
Mm-hmm.
They went on these long drives. They scored on both. I believe they scored on both. I'd have to go back and look. They might have punted in between there, but they got a touchdown and a field goal off of it. They took a 10-7 lead. And then, how about Sean Payton with the fake punt?
Oh, that would have called.
That was. Woo!
I was like, "Ooh, this might be a game."
What a call, dude!
But then they didn't.
What a call! I mean,
That ended up being the missed field
I
goal.
know. Yeah, no, it didn't.
Or was it? Or they didn't even. They punted, right?
No,
Oh, you're right. They punted.
They punted. Yeah, they punted after Riley Dixon. I think it's
Riley Dixon.
Riley Dixon. Yeah, they put him at the 1 yard line though. So
yeah, but then I thought they
what
were
a
gonna
punt.
try, but then they didn't either.
Yeah, and then I believe Denver got a stop, and then it led to the
then led to the field goal.
The missed field goal. Yeah, Will Lutz doinked it. That was a huge. That was honestly a changing point.
That would have changed everything because 10
tie
going
game
into the half.
Yeah, Buffalo got the ball.
Granted,
first,
Buffalo got the ball first, but like that would have been huge.
Yeah, I do. Bo Nix on that drive. I mean,
Nix is good, man.
Dude,
Bo
he
Nix
showed tremendous
solid
poise.
quarterback.
Tremendous poise. I
He's
mean,
also a very good runner. Nobody thinks about that. He has a couple of really nice scrambles.
I didn't watch. We didn't watch.
We didn't watch most of the second half because by that point we were getting ready.
We were getting ready to go into the stadium. I did watch.
It was pretty quick. It was pretty over.
I did watch the highlights, obviously, and basically what I took away was Buffalo just imposed their will.
Yep.
At that point, they went on long drives. They went on touchdown drives. And Denver just really couldn't get anything going, unfortunately. Yeah. So 31-7 was the final score. Buffalo's moving on. And we're going to move on here to the next game.
The next game.
Which we were at, guys. We were at this game.
Oh, boy.
Eagles 22, Green Bay 10.
What a game.
Dude, I think this was an exceptional day. So let me just walk you through.
Great game.
I'll walk you through what we did. I picked up some subs in the morning. Kyle and I were there. Kyle's girlfriend was also there.
Yes.
So we were able to get pissed drunk at the game.
Yeah.
And not have to drive home, which was also perfect.
Drink and drive. Don't drink and drive.
No, don't drink and drive. So we showed up at like 10 or 12 o'clock. We showed up around noon. We waited in line for about 40 minutes for the parking lots to open. But we were right there. We got in. Settled in, we ate our food, we started drinking, we had a good time, watching football in the parking lot. And then we also got out at a very reasonable time because we've done this trip a little bit before, so we know right where to park. In one of those cash lots outside of the NovaCare complex.
Yeah, because it's pretty easy to get in there if you're coming from New Jersey specifically.
Yeah, I mean,
then it's pretty easy to get out. So like getting out of the lot is kind of annoying because it's like really a tunnel way. But once you get out of the street and onto the bridge, it's
basically what they do is in this case they looked like they had cars going the other way too.
Well, yeah, I think they started doing that.
They started doing that, so it wasn't as bad. But normally they just put all of the traffic into one exit, and then you have to kind of wait. So if you're on the far side of the lot, you have to go and wait the whole time. It's a disaster. We waited like 90 minutes in that lot before.
Yeah.
But we parked. We were there early, so we got preferential parking, and we got right in the front of the line. And then we got out of there in like 20 minutes, and then we were in Jersey, within 40 minutes of the game ending. So we got back before 10. We were able to watch the whole second half of the Commanders game, which was awesome.
Commanders Bucks, wow.
The energy, dude.
Dude, the national anthem alone, that was incredible. That was the best national anthem performance I've ever seen.
The boy on the sax, dude.
He had the sax. He held the note. The eagle flew down. Eagle flying around the stadium. He was like, "Whoa, I'm an eagle!" Woo.
Dude, the energy in that the energy in that stadium was just unbelievable. So this is actually my first time sitting lower bowl, and it's fucking amazing, dude.
Oh
it was amazing. Dude, the energy was just like, fucking let's hunt, dude.
Yeah.
There was just this like ferocious energy in the stadium where everybody there knew what the stakes were. Like everybody was there because we wanted to win. Like we're ready to go to war. It was just this unbelievable energy in the stadium. That's all I can describe it as. And we did get some pictures.
Yeah, and then the opening fumble.
Oh, dude.
That stadium went off. Oh my Lord. Yeah. You heard the hit. Like when the was it Burks that forced the fumble?
Oren Burks.
Yeah, when Owen picks up the game.
There's your boy and I.
Yeah, at the game.
Hanging out, trying to get this straightened out. Yeah, you see this on our pick studies.
Follow pics on Instagram and Snapchat.
Yeah, you would have seen that. I should post that as a solo.
Yeah.
But so the opening kickoff.
Burks smack him, and then you're ball.
Did you go back and watch the replay?
No. You don't think they had it? Oh man.
They didn't.
Woo! You know what it reminded me of? It reminded me.
They didn't have it.
It was a makeup call for that Dallas Eagles game from.
You could point to any number of calls this year. I mean, I guess
the Eagles. Remember the Eagles game against Dallas in like 2019? I remember because I had a really bad date during that game. But anyway, but like when the Dallas fumbled it on the opening kickoff, but the Eagles looked like they clearly recovered, but they were like, it's no clear recovery. So this is a revenge.
So,
it was a revenge call.
Basically, so the Eagles did come away with the ball. I'll say that they did come away with
Yeah.
it. That was only after the guy was on the ground with the ball and they kind of ripped it out.
Yeah.
So, and we've seen that, like you've seen that call before, right?
Mm-hmm.
But until there's a clear recovery, they dig at the bottom of the pile and try to figure out who has it.
Uh-huh.
So you've seen it before where that's happened, where they literally let them scrum. Whoever comes away with it comes away with it. I personally don't think that's the right way to go about it, especially if there's replay review and it shows literally the guy has the ball.
The ball was bobbling.
And then it was ripped out. Yeah, but there's an angle. There was an angle.
Nah. Eagles had it. That's the call on the field. That's what they say. That's the call on the field.
There was a
call on the field, Matt.
We'll just say that there was some pretty convincing video evidence to say otherwise. But
call on the field.
Eagles came away with the ball.
Do we say that when that happens to the Chiefs and they still win?
No.
So yeah,
everyone rags on the Chiefs.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean we got to see that. That was right in our view. Actually, we really got to see.
Yeah, all the action was.
All the action. So we saw
cool.
The fumble was on our side of the field.
Nobody fumble.
And then the Eagles turned that into a touchdown.
Jahan Dotson touchdown play. Shout out to Aaron.
That was there.
Touchdown play.
We got to see the Slay interception.
The Goddard
touchdown, which was fucking electric.
Boom.
Dude, he's
stiff arm. He did the extra stiff arm.
Yeah, no,
he didn't want to give him some.
He said I slowed down so I could give him some extra. So we got to see that. We got to see the Jacobs touchdown. We missed most of the drive, but we saw the touchdown was on our side. And then we got to see the Quinyon interception to seal the deal. So honestly, it's kind of a risk when you sit in the end zone.
Yeah.
But it worked out.
We picked that good end zone.
It worked out tremendously for us. So, yeah, I mean, Jordan Love. What's up with him? The shuffling of the feet, the indecisiveness downfield.
Throws.
Some of them were bad. Honestly, I thought some of them were just pretty good coverage by the Eagles.
Yeah, the Eagles.
The Eagles blanketed them, dude. Right? Eagles came away with 3 interceptions in this game.
And Mr. Nolan Smith with 2 sacks on the quarterback.
Dude.
Jordan Love only had
of that game.
He was only sacked before this game. He was only sacked 13 times.
It's crazy
on the season. In 14 games.
So the Eagles,
which is nuts.
I think we ended up with only 2 or 3 sacks.
3 sacks.
I think it was
Nolan finished with 2.5.
I think it was 3 sacks, but to that point,
Jordan Love had only been sacked 13 times in 14
Yeah,
games,
but the Eagles' pressure was there.
Yeah,
it was there. They were making Jordan Love very, very bouncy in the pocket.
Mm-hmm.
His feet weren't set on all those throws.
To be fair, a lot of Packers linemen and receivers just all got hurt throughout.
Oh my God, dude! The Packers didn't have Christian Watson.
They had to call
in the
hospital to carry out half their team.
They didn't have Christian Watson for this game. Romeo Doubs had a big hit in the end zone.
Yeah, he got hurt.
He got carted off. The game stopped for a little bit.
Yeah.
And then Jaden Reed
hurt his shoulder.
So they were without wide receivers 1, 2, and 3 at one point.
Yep.
So.
And their starting center.
Yeah.
And one of their right tackles.
Yeah, and then I believe they benched Travis Glover because he had like 3 holding penalties in the first half, and they were just like, "Nah, you're done, dude. Like, sit down."
Dunzo, bye-bye.
We'll talk about the Eagles' offense a little bit too, which I thought was a little bit rusty, as expected.
Mm-hmm. They did enough to win the game. When they needed to score down, the narrative on the Eagles' offense is all like, "Oh, Jalen Hurts, he's booty cheeks. You don't like Jalen Hurts. Keep it calm, because Jalen Hurts, all he cares about is winning.
Dude,
this is all he cares about. When the Eagles' offense needed to score, they drove down and scored. When they didn't really need to, they just played really conservative. And honestly, if Saquon doesn't go down, which was the right call, the game is 21-29 to 10, which that's way different looking.
Yeah.
And also,
he would have scored.
If also like that fake tush push play, love the play call.
Oh my
AJ
God,
Brown
dude!
Was like a step away from
I wish that
would have changed the thing.
Honestly, that was really like one of the only throws he missed.
Yeah,
because he did have him there, and he just missed him. Bro, that play was fucking crazy.
Oh my God!
So they lined up in their normal push position, and then it was just a direct snap to Jalen, and he just took it, went back, and then fucking yeeted it. Now he missed him, unfortunately, but. He was there, and then the play call worked. So and now you have to game plan against that if you're, you gotta
keep them on their toes.
They can do so many different things out of that position. And I bet you we haven't seen the end of it either.
Yep.
I bet you there's more that we haven't seen.
More to come.
I bet you there's some crazy shit that Sirianni and what's his face, the O-line coach,
Jeff Stoutland.
Jeff Stoutland.
Stoutland University.
I'm sure there's more that they've cooked up. So
I'm not worried about the Eagles.
I'm not either.
Fools.
I'm not either. I'm not concerned. If you remember, it kind of feels like their Super Bowl run in 2018 when they had they weren't so sure about it.
On the first round.
They looked shaky against Atlanta, and then they proceeded to beat the shit out of the Vikings, and they ended up winning the Super Bowl that year.
The biggest thing, I'm not 100% concerned about it, but the Nakobe Dean loss is sad.
Yes. So the Eagles didn't come away unscathed, unfortunately. Nakobe Dean, starting linebacker, tore his patellar tendon.
That's a really bad injury.
That's
worse than ACL.
That's like it's arguably worse than ACL.
It's
so
very commonly
he's gonna miss the rest of the A lot of guys that have that injury are not the same afterwards. So we're wishing the best of luck to him. They did sign, I don't know if you saw this today,
Nicholas Moreau, the practice squad.
Oh my God, this guy was on the horrendous Eagles defense from last year. He was actually a pretty good.
But he's just
player.
A body though. But, I mean, they're pretty good
in that.
Fangio said they're gonna run with a combo of Burks and then Jeremiah Trott Jr.
Jeremiah Trotter, okay.
Jeremiah Trotter Jr. Similar to what they did in the Cowboys game when Nakobe was out with an abdomen injury.
Yeah, so they have a plan.
But I think they really like Trott. I think he's gonna have a big game.
I think the Fangio defense is gonna be strong here. For Green Bay, it's kind of a downer ending for Green Bay. I mean, I was talking about them potentially being a Super Bowl contender.
Yeah, you had them in the Super Bowl.
Preseason I did.
Preseason. That's Super Bowl preseason pick. Dead in the water.
Dunzo.
Bengals, Packers, Dunzo.
Yeah, done.
Eagles, Chiefs, still on the board, baby.
All right, let's move on here. We got one more from Sunday.
The only good game of the week.
Arguably the only.
Definitively the only good game.
I still had a good time.
I had a great time, but like in terms of gamesmanship,
yes,
this was the only good game.
Sunday night in Tampa Bay, the Buccaneers fall to the Washington Commanders 23-20. Zane Gonzalez walks it off as time expires. The Commanders get their first playoff win since 2005.
Wow. Third longest playoff win drought.
Yes.
So now it's the Dolphins and from I think it was 2001 or 2002, and then it's the Raiders from 2000, like the year they made it to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
That was the last time the Raiders won, which I think was 2000.
Yikes.
Big yikes.
So yeah, from a gamesmanship standpoint, you're right. This was
the only good.
This was a very entertaining game, and we got to watch most of it too.
We did. We watched it in the car ride.
We watched essentially all of it.
And we watched when we got back.
And then I watched when I got back. We'll go early in the first quarter. It was 3-0 Commanders, and they go for it on 4th and 2.
No, it was 3-0 Bucks.
What? Oh no, it was 3-0 Bucks. Yeah, so it was 3-0 Bucks, and the Commanders had the ball. They go for it on 4th and 2 at the Tampa Bay 20. They don't get it. It's a playoff game. Take the points. That's what I'm thinking. They did it again, dude. They left so many points on the board. I feel like 4:30 left in the game. 2020. Oh no, this was before. Yeah, so the Commanders had 1st and goal from the 1, and they put nothing up on the board. Tampa gets a goal line stand. So that's arguably 6 points there.
Mm-hmm.
They finally capitalized on 4th down. They went for it again in the red zone. Touchdown to Terry McLaurin to take the lead. It was 20-17 at that point. Yeah, beauty of a throw. Beauty of a throw.
I disagree that I kind of blinked for a second because I was trying to get the Aaron Commanders facts. I think Dan Quinn's decision to go for it on 4th down. I think that was the right decision. It's the playoffs. Go for the lead. You have one of the best fourth down teams in the league.
Tie the game. I disagree.
Make a statement.
I disagree. Tie the game.
End up winning, but
tie the game. We had a bad roughing the passer call against Yaya Diaby.
Yeah.
He was blocked into Aaron Jones. Or Aaron Jones. He was blocked in. Heads all over the place. He was blocked into Jaden Daniels. Like, what do you want him to do?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't understand. Like, how could you be thrown into the quarterback and then get penalized for it? I don't get it. I thought that was pretty bad. This game honestly was going in Tampa's favor early though, because Washington was unable to establish the run, at least with their running backs in the
which they really haven't been able to do well with the
running backs recently. And that might be a problem going forward.
Could be a problem.
Now they're going to go to Detroit. Obviously, they're playing in Detroit, which is a way better of a crowd than Tampa. No offense, Tampa. I've been there. I've seen it. It's tight. But yeah, it's going to be a problem going forward if they can't establish the run. I mean, they're fine in the passing game,
Oh man,
and they're fine when Daniels keeps it himself. But
we'll see what happens in Detroit.
I know
Man.
they gotta figure out how to run the ball.
Washington team.
They gotta figure out how to run the ball. End of the first half, Tampa gets some points. Beautiful throw from Mayfield to Evans. And then Dan Quinn, more aggressive decisions in the third quarter. 4th and 5, they go to Ertz before the end of the third quarter. They convert. Levante David.
He had some great games. He stopped Jaden Daniels.
Levante David was having
had a hell of a game.
He was there on every tackle.
I thought like he was like almost winning them the game. He was like one of the few people that this season that's been able to get Jaden Daniels on these scrambles.
Yeah, one of the few guys.
Like he got a lot of like big stops on third down.
He was having a hell of a game.
Yeah,
definitely kept Tampa in this. So so Tampa had a lead. I believe it was 17-13. They get a goal line stand. The momentum swings. Tampa's got the ball, and then all of a sudden, the miscommunication between Jalen McMillan and Baker Mayfield, timing is just not on there, and it needs to be.
Yep.
It definitely needs to be. So the Commanders end up falling on the ball because it goes off the side of McMillan instead of into his hands. And then they finally convert. That leads to 7 points.
Yep.
That to me clearly was the turning point.
Yep.
Game. I think if Tampa goes down and even gets a field goal, you put the pressure on them. That's the less than 6 minutes left.
You're up by 2 possessions.
You're up by 2 possessions. You need because it would have made it
at that point because it was 17. It was 20-13, right?
It was 17-13 Bucks.
Oh, you're right. Yeah.
It was 17-13 Bucks. But even if you get 3 there, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're probably gonna be the last team with the ball because it's approaching like 6-7 minutes left.
Yeah.
So you're probably gonna be the last team with the ball if you put together some sort of drive and get some points. Even if they score a touchdown, like I said, you have most of your timeouts, and you're still gonna end up on top. You're still gonna end up with the ball at the end of the game. So the Commanders took a 20-17 lead. Bucks go on a field goal drive afterwards, and then 4:30 left in the game, 20-20. Jaden Daniels, what do you got? And he gets it done. That last drive,
one tackle, and
by Kalijah Kancey.
Yeah, by Kalijah Kancey, get the first down.
So it's
basically ended the game.
3rd and 1. Commanders are just outside of field goal range. Under a minute left in the game.
No, they were in field goal range.
I think they were right there.
Like yeah.
They were. I don't know if they were quite in.
But they were in his kinda. But if they had made it, Tampa would have got the ball back with time on the clock.
Yeah. That and also Zane Gonzalez for what he did.
Yeah, he's a little dicey.
What he did on that floor,
Woo! With the hair,
with the hair, bro.
My hair here, boy.
What his wife?
Where'd my hair go?
His wife said something about him having OCD.
Who, Zane Gonzalez?
Zane Gonzalez's wife. I have to look this up. Wait, Zane
Gonzalez's wife.
Gonzalez. OCD. Yeah, because I saw something that said people thinks he has a.
Oh, he has OCD.
He does have OCD. Yeah, his OCD was on full display in that one. Kept fixing his hair. Kept taking his helmet off. He was licking his fingers, doing all this shit. Now he put it through the uprights. Well, actually, he didn't. He hit the upright. He hit the upright and doinked in.
He doinked it in.
Doinked it in for the game winner. Dramatic finish. So the Bucks fall. Commanders get the win, 23-20, and their reward is now going to Detroit. Woo! To take the Lions on.
I don't know. I think that's going to be a closer game than people think. Currently, 9.5 spread.
It might.
I think that's going to be way closer than and we'll talk about that when we
get KBT. Give me some Commander stats.
Here we go. We got
I know
Aaron's
you got a bunch.
Commander stats. First stat. Only QBs that have engineered an offense on the road in the playoffs with 0 punts and 0 turnovers. Jaden Daniels, obviously, and Peyton Manning.
They didn't punt that game?
They didn't punt that game. There was no punts and no turnovers.
Bruh.
Correct.
What did they do on their drives?
They scored, or they went for it on 4th down.
They put up 23 points, though.
Yeah, they only had 8 drives. Tampa limited their drives.
Yeah, Tampa did hold on to the ball.
Tampa played a phenomenal game against them. It's just like the Commanders just are like just a team.
They did turn it over on downs. So they went downs, touchdown, field goal, end of half, field goal, downs, touchdown, field goal. Wow.
Yeah. Also, in the NFL history, there's been 3 instances of a team having 0 turnovers and 0 punts in a game behind a rookie starting QB. All by Jaden Daniels. Wow.
Jeez.
Who would have thought? Last 5 Commanders games have been won by the Commanders on the final play from scrimmage. Saints with the goal line stand. I went the 2-point conversion stop. Eagles with the touchdown to right at the final seconds.
We got
Falcons.
They were showing them
in
all.
overtime. Cowboys, and with like Marcus Mariota, and then this game with the Bucks with a walk-off field goal.
Damn.
Fourth rookie QB ever to win a playoff game on the road. The last 2 rookie QBs to make the playoffs win playoff games on the road. Joe Flacco and Roethlisberger made it all the way to the championship game.
Damn.
So what if they do the same?
Brandon Hollum in the chat says, crazy fact, the AFC South has more wins this postseason than the NFC North. That is kind of nuts to think about now.
Yeah, the NFC North.
That is kind of crazy. Yeah, 0-2.
Who would have thought?
I guess we can get into that now with Monday's game between the Minnesota Vikings and the Los Angeles Rams. 27-9 was the final score. The Minnesota Vikings season flames out in dramatic fashion.
Sam Darnold seeing ghosts again.
Dude,
spooky.
It was bad.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we watched. You were over for the first drive of the game.
Over.
Yeah, so he was watching. Were you over for the first drive?
No.
I think you came over after, but it was a McVay masterclass from the start. That opening possession, I love how they went on the hard count on 4th and 1.
They picked up
the first down. Then Stafford just cool and calm and collected in the pocket, just drops it into Kyron Williams. They score.
Mm-hmm. A beauty of a ball to Tyler Higbee.
Yeah, oh my dude. And Tyler Higbee was huge in that game until he got hurt. Yeah, he had a chest injury. He had to come out. Before that, he had 5 catches for I think it was like 56 yards or something like that.
A baller of a game.
Yeah, that would change the offense a little bit going forward. It looked like they didn't stagnate, but they did look like they had to resort to other options a little bit more than they wanted to. But the Vikings had some tough calls go against them in this one. So Stafford was strip sacked, and the Vikings, Blake Cashman, picked it up and returned it for a touchdown. Now
a forward pass?
the little
because he did a little. But you could argue he did the little flick.
I saw a really good comment on Reddit that I would like to reiterate.
Mm-hmm.
What was it? It feels like it's technically a pass, right?
Yes. But Puka standing right there.
Puka's standing there.
Wasn't even intentional ground.
The little wrist flick, the ball goes forward a little bit. But I feel like it's against the spirit of what a pass is.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Like, do it like right in the ground.
It ain't a fucking pass, dude.
Yeah.
It's not really a pass. It's just technically a pass.
Yeah.
So that was a huge swing in direction of the Rams.
Yep.
I was saying, like, during the game, I was like, that's one way to get back in it. But they overturned it. And then you could argue it was still grounding. I know Puka was right there, but it's still
I think
it's still in the pocket.
Grounding.
So it's probably,
I don't know, they wanted the LA to get they wanted to get their wildfire win, like
here's the thing though.
The refs wanted.
It's probably still grounding, but apparently you can't call grounding after overturning a fumble, which seems like a very arbitrary restriction, right?
That's wild. That's actually.
It seems like a very arbitrary restriction as to why you can't. Like, why wouldn't you be able to do that? Oh, we overturned a fumble, therefore we can't look at anything else. That doesn't make any sense to me.
No, that's
like just
stupid.
Fucking. If it's wrong, fix it.
They need to do some serious. I honestly really like the new replay review or whatever the hell it's called.
The replay assist.
Yeah, the replay assist. Except they also was it this game where they saw the intention. They called it initially illegal man downfield.
That was the Packers game.
That was the Packers game.
That was the Eagles-Packers game. Where
that was so bad.
Where replay assist said, "Nah, it wasn't an eligible man downfield."
And then they showed the broadcast on the screen.
And 5 yards downfield, and Jordan Love's like, "I got it."
That was stupid.
That was so bad.
That was the one time I was like, I hate replay assist.
Yeah. So they overturned that call. Another thing that was wrong with the Vikings offense was they failed to establish the run in the first quarter. Now, they did get the ball in the second quarter. They had a good couple of runs on their opening possession the second quarter.
The Vikings was Sam Darnold just seeing ghosts. And honestly, Minnesota, the offensive line was terrible.
The Rams. It was
They threw a bunch of exotic looks. The Rams pass rush destroyed
They had
Sam Darnold.
no answer.
Yeah.
No answer
to the Rams pass rush.
No answer for that.
They almost gave up at the end, which was just sad. Right near the end of the third quarter, where you could argue it was still a game, they were slow getting to the line.
Oh my god,
dude! Plays, and I was like, "This game is
crazy."
Over.
Yeah,
that's just sad. It's a playoff. I get if it's a regular season game, you're like, "Hey, it's not going right well for us. We'll get back at it next week." But like in the playoffs, you go home.
Yeah, it's crazy.
You
There's
go
no
to
next.
Cancun.
There's
They were
no.
ready to go to Cancun.
There's no next week. There's no guarantee, and it's like, what the hell are you doing out here?
Yeah.
I'll go back.
6 sacks in the first half.
Yeah.
Wild.
I'll go back to the second quarter too, because there was a roughing the kicker call against the Rams, where he literally got thrown, or no, yeah, it was on the Rams, right? They literally got thrown into him, and they called roughing the kicker.
Yeah.
Which I thought was a very bad call. Minnesota gets the first down.
Didn't matter in the end, but.
And then what about Grugier Hill?
Oh my God, that was the closest I've ever seen.
So the Vikings were this close to blocking a punt.
Yeah,
I still don't know,
close.
dude. Literally, like
is the ball?
It was like this close.
It was like
right here.
It was
literally
nuts.
dove past him.
You could see him smashing his hands on the ground.
And there was nobody over there,
No.
too. The Rams had nobody back that he would have at least picked it up, I believe, and maybe even scored. So another game-changing miss for Minnesota. But yeah, it's crazy. I mean, and then obviously you had the strip sack against Darnold.
Yeah, Darnold.
Hangs in the pocket way too long.
Yep.
The Rams strip it, return it for a touchdown. Jared Verse picks it up. He just never felt the pressure.
Nope.
Just never felt it. Did you see do you know who the Vikings play-by-play guy is? Paul Allen?
Yeah.
His call on
No,
that.
I haven't seen his call. But he was great.
Oh,
You know who can feel the pressure? Jalen Hurts. I remember we were watching, and one of the Packers was coming after him, and I always thought he was cooked. I was like, oh my God, he's gonna die. And then he ran away and he threw it to Dallas Goedert, made a sick one-handed catch. That's my quarterback.
Dude.
Sam Darnold could never.
Where is this play? Oh.
Whatever, let's just continue.
Yeah, while I try to find it. Yeah, it was absolute domination, like Kyle said. 6 sacks for the Rams in the first half. Yeah, just an exquisite play calling by the Rams, especially on defense. Yeah, dude, he was seeing ghosts.
Yep.
He was definitely seeing. He was late in behind on Naylor on the 3rd and 5 to open up the third quarter, and then they ended up punting. And then how about O'Connell challenging the what was it? It was
the
on the Kyron fumble. He's like Kyron fumbled it, bro. That review was over in like 2 seconds in mid third quarter.
They just collapsed.
Darnold was struggling to complete screen passes to Aaron Jones in the third quarter. Now they did go on a touchdown drive eventually. He was able to start moving his feet around. He set his feet. Took him 2.5
touchdown to T.J. Hawkins.
Yeah, it was. I mean, too bad it took him 2.5 quarters to figure it out. Yeah, I mean, and then like you were saying earlier, how about O'Connell just running it twice, down 3 scores? They were down. They were down 3 scores with under 7 to go, and they ran it twice. They took the entirety of the play clock.
Yeah.
And we're sitting there, and I'm like, this game's over.
I know.
This game's. It was hard. Like if I was a Vikings fan, I would be I would be so mad at my team for winning 14 games and having come all the way there.
I mean, they just can't beat the Lions and they can't beat the Rams. Those are the only teams they lost to this season.
Dude. It doesn't matter who you. Yes, it was.
It was. That's the only.
Rams and Lions.
They won 5. They won 5 straight. Lost to Detroit. Lost to LA. Won 9 straight. Lost to Detroit. Lost to LA. Yeah,
it's crazy.
Big rippies.
So I mean, it's just stupid. Like it doesn't. And then they ran it the one time, and then the Rams were like they ran on 3rd and 1, and they were like they gave him the first down, and then the Rams were like, no, you didn't. They challenged it and they reversed it, and then they were slow to get to the clock.
And they didn't get it. I don't think.
No, they ended up getting it. They ended up getting it, but they turned it over on downs. The game was over after that. So 27-9. Rams are now headed to Philadelphia to take on the Eagles. That game's going to be on Sunday at 3 p.m. on NBC. So we're gonna get into
our divisional round preview.
Yeah, we'll do the divisional round preview. So I think
this is our final KBTs. The KBTs is over.
Don't worry, we're gonna have
one last winner.
We're gonna have some plays for you guys during conference
championships,
championships
and the Super Bowl.
Of course we will. Of course.
But this is our final KBT.
I actually had a very good week betting. I bet Dallas Goedert. I don't know.
You did. I didn't bet Dallas Goedert to help him out.
Yes.
Every time he bets him, he doesn't score.
I don't know. I was like, I have a weird feeling Dallas Goedert's going to score today. He did.
And he did.
Now, granted, my parlays on Monday missed because Puka didn't get his catches.
Yeah.
or he didn't get his yards. But I did bet on Kyron to score, so
yeah,
I ended up coming out.
Also, where's
even.
Cooper Kupp, bro? He had like one catch.
Bro, he's irrelevant.
Like falling apart. Bro.
He's irrelevant.
He's
irrelevant right now. I don't get it.
Gone. Dunzo.
All right, let's move on. We'll talk about the divisional round previews. So let me get my times up here so I can.
I know the times.
I know, I got them.
Well, I gotta look at. I had to pull up the KBTs anyway, so I can tell you the KBTs.
So let's do Saturday. We got Saturday and Sunday football for you guys. Saturday at 4:30, the 4-seed Houston Texans will take on the number 1 overall seed in the NFC, the Kansas City Chiefs. Houston, do whatever it takes. Slay the dragon. Make us proud. CJ Stroud, Joe Mixon, Derek Stingley, show us what you got. I'm rooting for you guys. I'm picking the Chiefs.
I am picking the Chiefs as well. But I am picking the Texans for the KBTs.
Yes.
KBTs, Texans will be at plus 15.5.
I like it.
This is because the Texans have covered this in every single game. But the one game, which was, I think, the Ravens game where they got blown out on Christmas, which was like a short week. So, whatever.
Irrelevant now.
That was the only game that they lost. The Texans' defense is built to stop the Chiefs. They have a really good defensive line. Patrick Mahomes struggles against a really defensive line. You could argue that they have been struggling. They could be rusty off of a bye week. I don't know if they necessarily will be, but could be the case. Their game the last time was pretty close. So it was only an 8-point game. And I think the Texans are emboldened. The one thing I will say, which is something I may or may not have brought up at the beginning of the season. So a lot of like Josh Allen, Lamar, Joe Burrow,
right,
versus the Chiefs in the playoffs, they've all had lost. It's kind of cheap. Mahomes is kind of the boogeyman.
Right.
For CJ Stroud, he's not the boogeyman. He has not played him in the playoffs yet. He doesn't have that psychological, oh my god, I got to beat this guy. I've never done it. I got to do it. He's the only one of the main AFC quarterbacks that has that right now.
So let me get this straight. You're not picking the Texans, but you're picking the game to be close because CJ Stroud
also
is not
every
Josh
Chiefs
Allen
game has been close.
or Lamar Jackson.
He doesn't have that psychological factor to it. He's never lost to Mahomes in the playoffs.
The thing is
honestly, I think the Texans can win this game.
I think Kelsey's gonna have a huge game. I don't know why. I mean, you look at the Texans cornerbacks, and this is what I said. This is their strength of their team.
They're cornerbacks.
They're cornerbacks, right? They got Kamari Lassiter, Derek Stingley. These guys are good. These guys are, they've been good all year. I don't know what they're going to do for a tight end. Because think about it. The Chargers really didn't have didn't really have a tight end.
But Kelsey's low-key been kind of
look at the teams
this season in comparison to his previous years.
If you look at the teams that the Texans have lost to by a lot of points, these are teams that usually that have good tight end play. Like a recent example was the Ravens. Mark Andrews and Isaiah Likely gave Houston.
Travis Kelce was 5 for 30 when they
played
back in week 16.
I think it's a different team now. I don't know.
I feel like it's a different team now because they were banged up too. Will Anderson got banged up in that game.
Yeah.
So I think that the Texans could legitimately win this game. I think the fact that they've covered 15.5 every time.
They almost won.
The Chiefs have almost. I think the Chiefs have never covered 15.5 or the other way. Beat a team by that much this season.
They haven't won by 16
so I think that the Texans plus 15.5 is the play.
I don't know. I mean, I agree with most of the points Kyle said. Get after Mahomes.
That's the way to beat Mahomes. Look at the Bucs game and when they played the Super Bowl.
You have to blitz him. You have to blitz him.
Get after him. And the Chiefs O-line has not been.
It's okay.
They've made adjustments. They moved Joe Tooney from guard to right tackle, which seems to have helped. But their O-line is not one of their strengths.
I'm predicting a big game from Travis Kelce. I think 8 and 90 or something like that. I don't know. So I'm picking KC. I think it will be closer than people think.
I'm also taking Houston just straight.
I am the Chiefs. I think the Chiefs win. 8.5 is the spread.
That's the spread right now.
I'm
just taking that, and I'm throwing in the T's because I even like the 8.5 one.
I think I was gonna say Chiefs by 10. I could see 7 though. I mean,
Chiefs by a touchdown.
Or
a field goal. I think this game is gonna be closer than people think. I think people were sleeping on the Texans. I think the Texans.
I'll take the Chiefs. That would be big though.
I hate the Chiefs.
All right, we're moving on. Nope, still Saturday.
Saturday night. Commanders.
8 p.m.
Lions.
The 6 seed Commanders, the number 1 overall seed, the Detroit Lions in Detroit, Ford Field, as you know, electric atmosphere.
Mm-hmm.
They don't lose there very often.
No.
The Commanders are a weird team, though.
They're a team of destiny.
They're a weird football
Except the
team.
Eagles
They
are
seem
a
to
team of
play these close games, no matter whether it's a lot of points or a little points. They seem to play these games that they're always close. They're always close.
Yes.
As I said earlier, though, my one concern with Washington is their run game. Their running backs specifically have not made a big impact in recent weeks. They've struggled to get the ball into the hands of their running backs and make plays. They don't really. Now I did see a few more screens with Eckler against the Bucks, which is a good way if you can't run it, get it into their hands some way. But Brian Robinson used to kind of be a bruiser for them in recent years, and this these past few weeks he really hasn't been putting on an impact. So I think if you're Detroit, the way you win this game is you run the ball as much as possible. You keep the ball out of Jaden Daniels' hands as long as possible.
I know what the Bucs were trying to do.
You keep the ball in play. Yeah, and it did work to some extent. I mean, like we said, the Commanders only put up 23 points. They didn't punt in the game, but they did go for it. They did turn the ball over on downs a few times.
Yeah, the one thing that's leaky about the Commanders is their run defense, and they're going to be going against Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery. Most likely comes back.
I think Bucky Irving had a pretty good game.
He had a really good game.
And especially when you have Jahmyr Gibbs and I don't know who they have
Montgomery's coming back
for this game.
Yep.
Fucking hell, dude.
That's what they say through the grapevine.
That's tough. I would play a lot of zone if I'm Detroit. Spy Daniels. Lions should win this game. Now, what's the spread on?
9.5.
9.5.
Which, I mean, if we want to get into the KBTs.
Shit, man.
My gut tells me I think the Commanders are going to win this game. It's a bold pick.
Dude, what?
I don't know if I'm going to actually pick it, but
we're taking a wash.
I'm taking the Commanders plus 16.5.
Shit, man.
The Commanders have covered this line every single game except for one, which was the week 1 game against the Bucs. The Lions haven't covered the opposite of this, except against really bad teams, against playoff teams and winning teams with winning records. They haven't. I think the only team they covered this against was Seattle, early when Seattle was on their downswing. The big stat for you, which I looked up because I had a feeling about this because I was like, you know what? Like a lot of the games that Detroit's winning,
if you got a feeling, you got a feeling, man.
Teams that are struggling against they have like not less mobile quarterbacks like Sam Darnold.
Right.
But I looked it up. Lions are bottom 4 in yards allowed to rushing quarterbacks. And they only played 5 games total against top 10 rushers, which was Caleb Williams twice, who is number 7, Anthony Richardson twice, who's number 4, Josh Allen once, and then Kyler Murray once. And then every other team in the bottom 5, so like team 1, Dallas, and whatever, 2, 3, 5.
Right.
They played at least 2 games against Lamar, Jalen Hurts, or Jaden Daniels, who were the top 3 in rushing by a wide margin. So they were bottom 4 in rushing when every other team in the top 5 played at least the 2 of the top 3 guys that were top 3 by a wide margin multiple times. And also every single team in the bottom 10, except for Detroit, played.
That's interesting, man.
Except for Detroit and I believe the Titans played at least Lamar, Jaden, or Daniels twice or more.
That's interesting.
So I think with Jaden Daniels' rushing ability, I think that could be the key for the Commanders to at least. The game's gonna be close, way closer than people thinking. Okay. I might take 9.5 straight, and I this could be just hopium because I really want Eagles Commanders NFC Championship because that'd be fucking electric for me and Aaron. Because we said we are gonna go if that's the case, which would be awesome. So it could be just a little bit of hopium. The fact that I think they're going to win, because I think that's a crazy take. But I think they're going to cover it regular, and I think they'll definitely cover 16.5. So lock it in on the KBT.
All right. I'm picking Detroit for the record. That's not to say. I mean, I think Washington kind of needs this to be a shootout to win.
Yes, I think if it's a shootout,
they need to control the clock. Obviously, they need to do all these things that they've been doing well. And again, it's going to come down to
Jane Daniels is used to like Detroit. Obviously, everyone's like, "Oh, it's so loud and stuff." He played in the SEC.
Yeah, I mean,
he's been in loud.
The crowd will be a factor, of course it will, because it's Detroit. But we'll see. I'm gonna.
And Detroit's defense, like, I mean, I know they got Alonso back, but like their defense is still really injured, and they don't really have that good of a pass rush.
Yeah,
But a lot of their
we'll
pass
see.
rushers-
I'm gonna take Detroit. So
I mean, that's probably the correct take, but I think this out of all the games this weekend, I think Washington has the best chance for an upset.
Fair enough.
Assuming I know Bills are dogs right now, but like
That's
that's a pick up.
That's not an upset.
That's a pick up. That's not an upset.
All right, let's move on. We got 2 more games. Sunday at 3:00, the 4 seed Rams and the 2 seed Eagles in Philly.
6.5 points.
That's a lot of points, man.
That's Eagles money.
That's a lot of points considering what the Rams just did. It's a lot of points considering what the Rams.
Yeah, but the Rams just did that against a team with a bottom tier offensive line.
I don't care.
A quarterback that is not Dane Daniels, and then with a team with a
I don't know if I said this, but
equal to Saquon.
I don't know if I said
and
this.
they were also playing in like a neutral field, which was kind of like indoor stadium.
Whatever.
It's not the link.
9 sacks, which is what the Rams had against the Vikings, ties an NFL record for most sacks in a playoff game by a team. It's a lot of sacks, man.
It's a lot of sacks, but like they're playing against.
I would expect Los Angeles to employ a similar strategy against the Eagles as they did against the Vikings, which is just get after Hurts, make him make mistakes,
No,
make
their
him
strategy is to stop Saquon.
make him throw the ball.
Saquon destroyed them last time.
I don't think they can.
He had 300
I'll just say it.
scrimmage yards.
I don't think they can stop him. I don't think they can. I don't know. The Eagles' offensive line is going to hold up a lot better than the Vikings did against the pass rush.
Eagles defense.
I think it's just a matter of whether Philly can establish the run or not. It comes down to that.
Which they will.
Which they probably will.
Rams are statistically the worst defense still in the playoffs. Saquon destroyed them earlier.
300 yards. He had 300 scrimmage yards against them.
And they're going to be at home. They're like, I know obviously they had the fires and stuff, so they've been displaced now. They might not even be able to practice in LA right now.
Yeah, it's tough.
I haven't really looked into it since then, but that's what I've heard of as of
I've heard their plane is like they don't know where to go.
They don't know where to go. They're going to be playing. It's going to be crappy weather too.
Yeah.
Reports are showing it's going to be rainy, maybe snowy. I think this game is Philly all over it.
Yeah, I mean, I think
it's part of the KBT's money line because it's 6.5. KBT's money line. Eagles money line. Eagles also. I mean, we'll do a little preview eventually, but Eagles legs and KBT's are a perfect 7-0. So yeah, just keep that in mind. KB knows the Eagles.
I think for Philly, get the ball out quick. Use the middle of the field in the passing game.
Also, just bet the
north to south with
Saquon. Undervalued because of mainstream media being a hate on the Eagles.
Yeah, I think the X factor for Los Angeles is probably going to be Puka. I know it's a pretty boring take, but like it's a pretty boring take. But I think from a
he's honestly the only weapon they really have because Cooper Kupp's become non-existent.
Yeah, what's up with that, bro?
Kyron Williams was a little banged up at the end of the game. I looked in to see
came
how
out
he's doing, but he's kind of just an
early.
okay running back. So I think that the Eagles win this, and I think they win this comfortably. I think they match up way better than I think the Packers was a harder matchup than the Rams. I think the only thing that you could argue that I'm worried about is just the Kobe Dean being out. The Kobe Dean went off against them.
Yeah.
Back in whatever.
The championship pedigree of the Rams is definitely gonna assist them. But
Eagles are championship pedigree too.
No,
they didn't win the Super Bowl, but Jalen Hurts is a winner.
They've been there.
He's a winner.
I mean, I don't have much to offer on this game other than the fact that if the Eagles play their game, they should win. Mm-hmm. That's my take, and that was my take last week against the Packers too.
I will not
and it was right.
Unfortunately, very sad.
So, you're not going?
No, I am not going to the game. So sad. I made a prior commitment. Go Devils. But...
Oh my God, Kyle!
What?
Breaking news! I might be going to the game for free.
Oh! Whoa!
Holy shit!
Breaking picks news.
I have a plug, guys. I got a plug. Plug. Oh,
also, if Matt's at the game, the KBTs always wins when a Picks podcast host is in attendance at one of the games that's in the T's. It's a perfect 3-0.
Oh my God.
Or 4-0 actually. KBT is 4-0.
I gotta give my boy a call, but I might be there.
Boy.
I might be there. So we'll see. I'm excited. And I will have a new phone. For those of you who are wondering why all the photos on my Instagram look like fucking potato, that's why. It's my phone. My phone's shot. Okay. So we're gonna get a new phone on Saturday, hopefully before the game starts. So what's up? All right, we got one more game. This is fucking. I don't know who to pick in this game.
This was
the 3 seed Baltimore Ravens, the 2 seed Buffalo Bills. 6:30, Orchard Park, New York. It's in Highmark Stadium, Buffalo Bills are home. This game's going to be a film. How could it not? How could it not be a film, dude?
Yep.
Buffalo's defense is finally starting to get healthy, and it's at the right time. You got Terrell Bernard's back. Matt Milano's been back for a few weeks. Dwayne Carter's been back for a few weeks. And these are guys that will tremendously aid Buffalo's glaring weakness, which is undoubtedly their defense. You have to get after Lamar Jackson if you're Buffalo. What I would personally do is I would take your two fastest linebackers and rotate them as spies the entire game. You need a guy right in the middle, right at the Mike position, just right there, because they're going to do that read option that works tremendously well for Baltimore.
Mm-hmm.
You need a guy to at least, if you're not going to stop Derrick Henry, you need a guy to at least slow him down and let your secondary, don't let him get into the second level. And then you need a smart guy who's going to make a split-second decision. All right, Lamar's keeping it, Lamar's giving it. You need a guy there who's going to make that decision and at least slow one of them down, because what Baltimore was able to do against Pittsburgh was nothing short of just a masterclass, in my opinion. So if you're Buffalo, you have to find a way to take that away. Now, this is a rematch, Kyle, from week 4.
That's what I was just double checking
of the season.
Because I don't remember if Matt Milano played in that game.
I think he did.
That's what I'm looking up.
I think he did, but I'm not sure.
Because that makes me feel really more confident about my pick.
Yeah, so this is a rematch from week 4. Buffalo lost 35-10. Ravens ran for 271 yards. Buffalo ran for 81 yards. That's how Baltimore wins this game. They're going to do the exact same thing. Why wouldn't you, right?
Matt Milano was not on the stat sheet, which makes me think he did not play. But I want to confirm.
Go on Pro Football Reference. It'll show whether you started or not.
Let me look that up.
If you're Baltimore, run the ball. Stick what works for you.
Also, that was in Baltimore.
It was in Baltimore. That's true. Set the run up or set the pass up with the run. They did that very well against Pittsburgh. Now my gut is telling me this is Baltimore's year. It's telling me to pick Baltimore.
Well, my gut is speaking a different language. My gut is telling me this is the Bills' year. I'm picking the Bills.
Dude, I don't know.
And the Bills are in the KBT's pick. Honestly, the KBT's pick was whoever was the dog, because I think 8.5 is a value. And originally it was Baltimore, but by the time I placed the T's, and which is the line now, Bills became the dog. So the Bills 8.5.
Bills plus 8.5.
Plus 8.5.
Yeah, I mean, look, I'll say this. I don't see either team blowing each other out. I think this is going to be a very
I was also
close game.
I almost picked the under, too, because I felt like teams would be close. But I think that this game could get really explosive quick, and I can look like a stupid.
Especially with just how Buffalo's offense operates. They don't really hold on to the ball too long. I mean, they hold on to the ball long, but it's like, I don't know. I feel like their offense is just in a rhythm. They get into these rhythms where they just can't be stopped. I mean, obviously that's the strength of their team. That's why they're here. That's why they're the 2 seed. Dude, Baltimore's been playing like fucking crazy though. I don't know. I mean, given these past few weeks, I feel like it would be sacrilege to not pick Baltimore in this situation. I really do. So I'm going to go with Baltimore. I expect it to be close. I would not be shocked at all if Buffalo wins. But I'm going to go with the Ravens. I'll say something in the ballpark of like...
Matt Milano did not play.
He did not play, okay.
In that game in week 4. Also, if you remember that game in week 4, I picked the Bills that game. They didn't win. It was a blow. It looked like a blowout. If you remember, there was a key 4th down where they did this really stupid lateral play to Josh Allen.
Yeah, I
remember
that.
Absolutely railed.
I remember that.
And I think I was convinced if they didn't do that play and they did a regular play,
that was a game changing.
I think that would have. I think
that was game changing
because Baltimore is like a freaking steamroll engine. If Baltimore gets up early,
they had just picked Lamar off, or they just got a turnover.
If Lamar and
if I remember correctly,
the Ravens get up early, they're impossible to start. If the Bills keep this a game and it's close, I don't trust the Ravens in close games.
That's a fair point.
I trust the Bills in close games. They're also at home. I trust Bills in close games more than I trust Baltimore.
I've seen
Baltimore
this Baltimore team
is a bulldozer. If they do not get going, I do not trust them to close out a close game.
I've seen Baltimore where to Kyle's point, I've seen Baltimore just do absolutely stupid things on offense where they just don't give the
they
ball to
get bad
Derrick Henry,
penalties,
and they
they're
get
deep.
penalties. They're
Remember,
very
this
heavily.
is a team that lost to the Raiders.
They're very heavy. I was just gonna say I've seen them against one of the worst
And
teams
they
in the
lost to
league, in the
Pittsburgh.
Raiders, and they lost at home. Yeah, I mean those are close games. Those are divisional
The
games.
Bills'
But,
only losses are obviously. I mean, they lost to the Patriots in a meaningless game.
yeah,
They lost to the Rams the one game when there was an absolutely shootout, awesome,
Yeah.
epic game.
that was awesome.
And then they lost to the Ravens. That was their only losses on the
Yeah.
season. The Ravens, meanwhile, they lost to the Browns.
They lost to the Browns, the Raiders,
They lost to the Raiders.
the Steelers.
They lost to the
There's
Steelers.
another 2 teams in there, I
The
think.
Chiefs. Well, yeah, there's the Chiefs.
and then
They lost another one, but I'm trying to find it real quick.
they beat
lost to the
Cincinnati
Browns.
twice.
They beat Cincinnati twice. They lost to the Eagles.
Oh, the Eagles. That's right.
Yeah.
Right.
So, like, all right, I mean, what good teams did they beat? You know, you're thinking about
I mean,
it.
I don't-
guess maybe the Bengals, but
I don't
Are
think
Bengals
that
that good?
matters. I really don't think that matters now.
I don't trust Baltimore in close games. And I
That's a
don't think it's
fair
gonna be close.
point. That's a very fair point. I just feel like it's Baltimore's year.
I think
I
Lamar's
feel
gonna
like
win MVP,
Baltimore
but
is
Josh Allen's gonna
playing-
win the game.
I feel like Baltimore is just the team playing better football right now. They've been so dominant in the run game, and you know how big of a proponent I am of the run game in the playoffs.
yes.
The
Yeah,
run,
but the Bills
teams-
have a great run game too with James Cook, underrated.
Ty Johnson,
Josh Allen, underrated.
Is Ty
with the
Johnson
run
hurt?
game. No, he caught that really good touchdown.
he had to come out for a little bit.
Yeah, but I think he came back.
I guess I could just check their.
That was an incredible play. That
Bills.
4th down throw by Josh Allen.
Yeah.
They didn't talk about that.
No, we didn't.
That was incredible. Oh my god. He's an alien, Josh Allen. Oh my god.
Oh, Ray Davis. It's Ray Davis.
Yeah, Ray
who's in
Davis.
the concussion protocol. So
So he's probably not gonna play.
he's probably not going to play.
He's been a good year. They were talking about that. Ray
Um,
Davis. That sounds like an old person name. I was shocked to find out he was a
Yeah.
rookie.
Zay Flowers might not play too. so,
Ooh, if Zay Flower doesn't play and the Bills are a dog,
yeah.
Bills are underrated, guys.
Let's see.
Bills are totally
Flowers.
underrated. Oh my gosh.
Flowers. Let's see. Let's do Ravens injury reports.
Yeah, it's Wednesday. It's Dude's Day.
Let's
They did not practice today. Zay Flowers did not practice today.
We'll see in a second here. If this will load.
Let's say he didn't practice.
Well, I'm looking it up to see. Yeah, he did not practice.
That's not good.
Deontay Hardy practiced today.
That's not good.
That's not good. That's right. That's not good.
'Cause
So,
the Bills have a good secondary.
well, like I said, the Bills are getting healthy
And
at the
the
right
fact that they got
time.
Matt Milano back.
I'll say-
Oh my god, I feel so much better about the Bills now talking about it out loud.
I'll say
The
31.
KBT is gonna go off with a bang.
I'll say
And
31.
we're gonna get Commanders Eagles NFC
31
championship.
31-27 Ravens. That's what I'll say.
I'm gonna say the same thing, but for Bills.
There you go. I think that's a good note to leave it on, I think. So yeah, we'll be back. Next week is going to be regular Tuesday,
scheduled program.
regular scheduled Tuesday programming. We've got, let me think, 1, 2, 3. We got 4 more shows this year. 4 more.
Woo!
We will be having a show in between the conference championship
Yeah,
and the
kind
Super
of
Bowl.
recap
We'll do like a
stuff.
year review.
Yeah.
Kind of
KBT's review. I did the stats.
KBT's review.
Little preview.
We'll get you guys some bets for the Super Bowl, what we like, what we don't like. Obviously, that it's probably going to be mostly a Super Bowl preview.
Yeah,
That week.
for sure.
But I think it's going to be
Well, we're gonna have 2 Super Bowl preview shows.
no, because the last show will be after the Super Bowl.
So we're having a show next week before the conference championship. We're having a show before the Pro Bowl.
Yeah.
And then we're having a show before
we'll
the
talk.
Super Bowl.
Yeah,
and then after the Super Bowl.
We'll talk about what
Might as well keep it going, you know.
we'll figure something out.
Maybe we'll have like a Q&A. We'll try
Yeah,
to get people to respond in the chat.
We'll
you know?
we'll figure some stuff
Shout out
out.
to Brandon
But we
Hayden.
will have a show that week, so stay tuned. The last 4 shows will all be on Tuesday as of now. So keep an eye out for that. I will let you guys know if I'm going to the game on Sunday.
Oh yeah, I hope he does.
Sounds like I might be.
KBT's
so
undefeated when the podcast coaches at one of the games.
I would love to rock this Jown again.
4-0, baby.
Cooper DeJown.
Cooper DeJown.
So stay on the lookout for that. Hopefully in 4K because my phone's not going to be shitty anymore.
Dude, honestly, the KBTs this week, I would take it straight. I think I am. I think I might put a tenner on it straight, like
This is
with
tremendous
no
value.
tease point.
Here's the teaser.
I think it's
for
a
you guys.
great value, guys.
There we go.
I think Houston covers that comfortably. Washington covers that comfortably. Eagles are going to blow them out. Knock on wood. I don't want to jinx it. And then I think the Bills win in a close one.
We'll see. So hopefully we'll make some money this week. Go out and watch football Saturday and Sunday. There'll be games.
And Monday.
No Monday.
Yeah, Monday college football. The
Oh,
college football championship.
the college football championship.
Notre Dame versus Ohio State.
What do you got?
Ohio State.
I've been picking Notre Dame this whole. So I think
it'd be really funny if Ohio State like won the national championship, but they still lost to Michigan.
Just a quick.
So I'm picking Ohio State.
Quick side note: I had almost the entire thing right. I had Texas beating Notre Dame in the finals, but I up to that point I'd gotten everything correct. So I got the big brain apparently for college. I don't watch as much college. My brother watches a lot of college. He wants me to say Notre Dame. I don't know. I think Ohio State's the better team, so I'll probably pick Ohio State. But I'm rooting for Notre Dame. That would be cool to see them win.
There's a guy on Reddit that says he's gonna chop his penis off if Notre Dame wins.
That's
so
crazy.
I don't want somebody to chop his penis off.
That's psychotic behavior, and he won't do it either.
Oh, he said he's going to. He said he's going to schedule it, but he said that his wife said because he wants to have kids, so his wife's going to accelerate having the kids, and then he's going to still go through with it. I mean, it's kind of the internet. You don't know for sure, but it's pretty funny.
People are fucking weird.
Yeah.
I will not be around to prove whether he did or not. So.
I'd be curious.
All right, guys. We'll be back next Tuesday. Take care. Thank you all for listening to the Picks Podcast. We'll be back next Tuesday, 7:30 Eastern Standard Time. We'll see y'all then.
Peace.
Peace out.